In one of my recent videos, I compared a variety of different t-shirts that you can get from Amazon to see which one was the best, to see which had the best quality, and crucially, which had the best fit. This one that I'm wearing from Tommy Hilfiger was definitely one of my favorites from that video. There were certain things about it that made it a really good choice, at least for my body. So what are those things? What are the key things to look for when you're getting a t-shirt? There are many things to look for, but I'm going to break it down into 5 key areas. Number 1, sleeve armhole width. Now, if there's one thing that makes your t-shirt look terrible, it's the triangle effect. This is essentially where your sleeve is spearing out to the side in the shape of a triangle. The reason that this looks so bad is it makes your arms look incredibly thin, or it just makes you look like you're buying a t-shirt that's way too big. And I've had this same frustration even with t-shirts that fit really well through the torso. Now, if you want to, you can obviously have a tailor take in that area slightly. But one of the best ways to avoid ending up with this problem is when you're choosing a t-shirt, make sure you try and get one that's got some sort of elastane in. The one I'm wearing here is 4% elastane, which is a huge advantage over just your standard cotton t-shirt, because it means that it retains its tightness and shape around the sleeve. So it just contours to your arm no matter where it's positioned. This makes your t-shirt infinitely more premium, and it'll set you apart from the tons of other guys who are wearing triangle t-shirts. And also, when we're talking about sleeves, there's one other thing to consider, and that is the sleeve length. Because as well as wearing t-shirts that have got sleeves that spear out to the sides, the majority of men wear t-shirts with sleeves that are too long. Now, don't get me wrong, I've seen the occasional one where a guy has rolled up his sleeves to the extent where they're way too short. There may as well be a vest top. But in most cases and with most t-shirts, the problem is the opposite. You're getting a t-shirt with sleeves that are plunging down towards the elbow. If you're already skinny, then this makes your arms look much thinner or really short. And once more, makes you look like you're wearing your dad's clothes. It's just not a good choice. So where should this sleeve end? Really, if you want to aesthetically look as good as possible in the t-shirt, your t-shirt sleeve needs to end somewhere around the mid-bicep area. Now, I'd love it if this t-shirt was a fraction longer in this area, but generally, this is still better than most. I'd recommend going no further than the halfway point between your shoulder and your elbow. If you're going past there, you're getting onto different territory. And when you go lower than that point, it can start to throw out the proportions of your arms compared to your torso. If you keep it around the mid-bicep area, you're going to be good to go. The next thing that we need to look for in a good fitting t-shirt is also up top. And no, it's not the microphone stabbing me in the throat, but it is the neck opening. The primary issue that I see with loads of t-shirts is that this neck opening is far too big. Lots of men prefer this, understandably, because it can be easier to fit your head in this gap, and it might be a bit more comfortable to wear as a result. Now, the neck opening will vary when it's a crew neck compared to a V-neck. But if you've got a neck opening that's plunging down to the extent where people can see your collarbones, you're going to know it's too big. This is a really popular look among bodybuilders. Realistically, if you are really muscular, people are going to notice anyway. You don't need to physically show them your chest. And having a really big neck opening is only going to make you look thinner. Especially if you're a skinny guy, people are going to be able to see your collarbone. And it can also make your neck, especially if it's quite a thin neck, look even longer. So I like to keep it relatively tight, not to the extent where it's going up my neck, but just enough so that it covers all areas of my shoulder. This keeps it in proportion and looking boss. And then for the final 2 areas, when it comes to fit, we'll have a look at the torso. Number 4 is the length of the body. Now, really, this isn't that much of a problem. But these days, you can get a bunch of different styles and fits of t-shirts, some of which plunge really low down on the torso, to the extent where they might be so long they're covering your bum. Really, this is a very niche, specific street style look. Either that, or the t-shirt's just way too big for you. Style and looking good in general is often down to proportions. Something this big definitely doesn't help. Makes your legs look tiny. A good fitting t-shirt to be worn untucked should end just above your manhood. You don't want it so high that your belly button is poking through, but generally that's a good sort of area to be in. The final thing to watch out for is torso tightness. Normally with most t-shirts, in all honesty, chest doesn't tend to be much of a problem. Provided that you've got the fit good across the shoulders, the chest will take care of itself. But generally, if you've got the horizontal pull lines that are really tight across your chest, you'll know that it's too small. But in most cases, it's the area below this. Having one that's super baggy and flappy around the stomach area is just going to make you look like a square. You want something that does taper in slightly at the waist. Unless you're a guy that's quite overweight with a really big belly, then this is what you want to look for. But you don't want it so tight once more that it looks like the shirt has been painted on. This is why I like these like 4 to 5% elastane t-shirts, because they have just the right amount in this area. Anyway, if you want to check out that video that I did comparing all the different t-shirts on Amazon, you can click the link above me here and it'll send you across to that one. I'll also leave it on the end screen too. Well worth a watch because you get to see each of these principles in action. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate it if you press the like button. It lets me know that I'm doing something right. And if you want to see similar videos just like this one on what to wear, how to style your hair, and everything to make the most of you, then make sure you press the round subscribe icon just up here. And then I've got 2 more fun videos, including the Amazon one right down there. And I'll see you in the next one.